So I was going to morph this into a, hey, can you believe we're at where we are now? And what should agents be doing now?
Same thing we tell them every time.
Does it ever change?
Right?
I feel like a broken record. And it's funny because just a little bit earlier you said, doing the same thing over and over again. I'm like, yeah, that's basically the business.
It absolutely is. I mean, there's nothing wrong with innovation and, looking at new ways to develop your business. But, I was having a conversation with one of our top agents here in the office, and they hold an open house. They hold 2 open houses, 3+ open houses every single weekend, and they've been doing that since Lord knows how long. And I was talking to her, and she says, I didn't have any open houses this weekend.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I said, oh, so you took the day off, or you took the weekend off and enjoyed yourself? She says, oh, no. I went out door knocking. I went and visited all the other open houses that were out there, and then I door knocked around every single one of those open houses, and I spent my entire weekend in that community. Like,
amazing. Exactly.
Kudos to you. And that is doing the business. And that's, it's interesting. That's a perspective of not panicked, just keep going out there and keep doing the things. Something's going to happen. Something. Who's most likely to get the business when you're taking that approach? So, I was like, kudos for you.
Yeah, I like it. I like the sweat equity too.
Exactly.
I think right now that's important. I think check equity always works to a degree.
Right.
I think a lot of people don't realize you got to write that check, and then you got to do a heck of a lot of work.
Yep.
To convert those leads out. Whereas you can just go circle prospect, get on your SOI, whatever you're going to do, reach out, and you don't have to write the check, and you can shake some things out of the bushes that way too.
Exactly. So if I was coming to you right now and I said, I don't know what to do, what's on the top of the list for you?
Belly to belly.
Okay.
I have during the day, that period of time I just go out.
Okay.
What do I do, Travis? I don't care what you do, really. You can go around new listings, you can go around old listings, you can go to the grocery store with your pen on and see what people are up to, but something, get on the phone, something where you're just touching base with people. And then I'm spending some time on I'm trying to think what it is, my digital presence. Mm-hmm. So I think that's super important.
I think digital presence is super important, and that's where I spend a lot of time. And when I say I spend a lot of time, no, I'm not spending all day liking and posting and things of that nature. I think that's important, but that's probably the least important when you're actually on social media. I spend a lot of time engaging. I am, instead of text messaging, I DM a lot now. So I'm probably sending out, right now, probably sending out about 200 plus DMs, 200 to 250 plus DMs a day.
A day?
A day.
Good Lord, people, yes. We are behind.
And you would be surprised, and here's kind of how it goes. It's almost, there was a day and time where I would just go through my phone and start at the alphabet and, text message somebody and just checking in or just saying hello. I was thinking about you, Travis. It's been a long time.
That's when I say I don't care what you do. That's it.
Right.
Start an A.
Exactly.
Start an M maybe this week.
Right. And I've gotten into the habit of doing it on direct messaging, and I like it because you can see when they've seen it. You can see when they respond. Communications go back and forth, and it's easy for me to have several conversations at the same time. Versus being on the telephone on one conversation at a time. When I'm in the DM world, I literally can have 7 or 8 conversations going on at one time and going back and forth. And I just keep going down, and sooner or later somebody comes back and starts to talk to me, and some people get back to me. Here's what I find fascinating about DM. There's always something now for me to respond to. Because if I DM you and you don't see it, what happens is I turn on my phone tomorrow when I wake up in the morning. There's always a group of people that didn't get back to me yesterday that just saw the message or did, oh, so sorry I missed your message, blah, blah, blah. And it's just...
Or how about that 5 or 7 days later?
Right. But
hey, sorry.
And it's always a start for me to be able to start with something and just start the communications up. So, that's spending a lot of time doing that right now and just making connections. And then people always ask, how's the business? Just everybody's interested in how the market is right now. So they want to talk about it.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like try to be creative,
right?
Be curious, whether it's in the area you work or what we know about real estate. And so my fallback on is like Proposition 19 campaign. Have you thought about that? Is there somewhere, hey, let me find a neighborhood that might be ripe for this type of marketing for people. What can you do? Who can be a target out there that you can get some messaging to, whether it be digitally or snail mail or whatever it is out there. I was sharing with someone today. This isn't going to work in today's market, but take the idea and run with it. I used to say, actually in this very room, in the back when I was a new agent, I would listen to all of our agents pitching their plugs and wants. And I would very quietly be writing down notes. And I would leave this room, and for the next 4 days, I had door knocking material. Because I knew, whoever, Michelle and Esther needed a 4-bedroom in the Landing, and I know that Lorraine needed a 3-bedroom over in the Colony. And I would just go and start knocking on doors.
It's fascinating to me how that's probably something that is very relevant, I think, for right now, because there is no shortage of buyers. The buyers are out there, and the buyers don't have a property to buy, and/or we're ending up in multiple offer situations.
Yeah, for sure.
So. Best one to put together is that off-market property. When you know exactly what they want and what community they want to be in, makes it easy to go out there. And there's a ton of agents that don't want to do that. Go do it for them.
Exactly. Well, that's what I knew.
Yeah.
I knew I wasn't going to get in trouble. No one's going to be knocking on those doors.
Exactly.
And I had to learn, too. I remember someone said, we need a home that has RV parking in it. And I thought, boy, I work in the older part of Irvine, so I'm sure I've got a lot of those lots. And so I went through, and this is way before internets and maps and everything. And so I think I kind of drove around. I was making notes. Oh, is that gate wide enough for someone to get an RV in there? And I'm going. It wasn't until way afterwards I thought, what the hell am I doing? Why am I not knocking on every single door instead of trying to cherry pick the ones that might be a possibility? So I hit one that you can't have RV parking on, but they might be thinking of selling.
Exactly.
So that was part of my learning curve.
Yeah. We get agents, or you've probably seen this, that notorious letter that comes in the mail of, I've got a buyer that's looking for a home in your particular community. And I see those all the time, and I always tell the agents, I say, you want to be specific, but you don't want to be too specific. I need a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, floor plan such and such. Just send it to the whole community. If they call you and that house doesn't work, at least you know somebody that's looking to sell their house. So it's funny that you say that, because I remember
we think we're trying to be helpful and thoughtful in what we're doing, but you're right. Many times it backfires on us.
All right. So name of the game, being consistent. I think that's always a magic word.
Number one. Bore yourself to death. Boy, when you're bored with what you're doing so repetitively, you're probably onto something.
Absolutely. What time of the day do you normally prospect?
Currently, 9 to 11 a.m.
Okay. So I'm more in the afternoon. So my mornings, I tend to try to get everybody situated and things like that, and then I jump into it in the mid-afternoon types of things. But I guess the point that I'm trying to make is that it's scheduled.
Yes.
That this is the time when we're going to be doing this particular activity, and that it's going to be happening on a regular basis. And I think that that's probably one of the biggest mistakes that I see people are making in not creating that consistency.
Great intention and terrible follow through.
Right. The agent that I was talking about, an open house. Typically, they have an open house on that particular, during the time where they are normally having open houses. She was used to working at that time and said, instead of saying, hey, I'm taking this time off, she just picked a different activity to do during that time frame.
Yeah,
so,
love it.
Yeah. All right.
Very good.
So
there's always something to be had in the market. This one's interesting. Well, it's been interesting for 23 years.
Yes, but this particular market, I like it. I think that this is an opportunity to seize the moment. There is hope. And I think that that's really important to understand. I was reading, it was an article that I was reading. Where was I reading? Oh, it was David Goggins' new book, and he was talking about an example he gave in there. And we were talking about, they took a bunch of rats, which I don't
Yeah, not my thing.
Mine either, but they put them in a big tub of water with no escape, unable to escape. And when they put them in there, the study was how long will they swim for before they drown? And it was very interesting.
Seems a little cruel, but okay.
It is. So for the animal activists out there, I didn't do the study. I'm just repeating what had happened. But they went about 15 to 20 minutes before they went to the bottom and drowned. And what was happening, the very first time they did this, the pattern was exactly the same. They'd swim for a while, then they'd swim down to the bottom, they'd look for an escape hatch, they couldn't find one, and then they would just give up and they would drown. Then they took a second group of rats, and just before the 20 minutes, they took them out, dried them off, let them come right back to normal, and then put them back in. 15 plus hours, they actually got up to 60, I think the max was like 60 some odd hours before the same rats drowned, just because the one thing changed, that they actually had hope in that situation, and they understood that there was a way out eventually, so they didn't give up. And I feel like in our industry that's what we see so often, that people just, they give up, and they're the ones that are sitting there and they're going to drown, and just have to understand, you got to outlast this. It's that simple.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's my story.
The message is good.
Well, I picked rats, which was what it was. They didn't pick bunny rabbits or anything. Anyway, if you like what we're talking about, please let us know. Like and subscribe, hit the bell, drop us a comment. We're always happy to engage with you, and hopefully everybody's doing well.